Hello, welcome to Book Talk. I'm your host, Anthony Moirore. At Book Talk, we get to have an author come and tell us about his book or her book. And today we have a great guest with us who's going to tell you something, and you've got to listen. And I won't take one extra minute because we've got a lot to go through with the book that she's written. I'm just going to introduce her to the show. Welcome, Conni Ponturo. And I hope I got that right.
You did. Fantastic, Anthony. Such a pleasure.
Yeah, we are glad to have you on our show. Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
And it's good to have you all the way from Los Angeles. Speak to all over the world because this show is shared all over the world. And by the way, because we upload it on Audible, we Google Podcasts, and it's there. You get it on Anchor. Those of you who are listening now, or those who get to listen to the recorded version, you can search for Book Talk at Book Place anywhere on the platforms, and you get us to listen to this episode and future episodes. And we will be glad that you share with other people. So let's get going. Tell us a little about yourself, Connie.
Absolutely. So my job is to work with people in chronic pain. I work with people that have been in pain for long periods of time and they're ready to change the story. And so I get to help them change the story of what pain is and what that means in their body. I've been a Pilates teacher for over 21 years in California. Because of the pandemic, 2.5 years ago, I became virtual. So I have a virtual studio and membership site where I teach through movement, transformational movement, but it's really about changing your mindset about what pain means to you.
And when you talk about pain, what kind of pain do you mean here?
I mean chronic pain. Chronic pain is anything that's gone on for more than 6 months.
In the body?
In your body. Yes,
Okay.
you've been to a doctor. You've got, because I work with a lot of physicians. So you've been to a doctor. You've checked it out, and they're like, too much stress, or you have to relax more, and you just can't understand what that means. It's really hard when somebody says to you, relax, and you're in a state, right, of agitation and confusion, and you're like, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. I get people to shift and to listen. That's why the name of my book is Listen, Watch What You Say. Your body is listening, because more often than not, Anthony, we say really mean things about our body and really mean things about our life. Like, I'm too old, I'm too stupid, I'm too fat, I can't do it, I don't know, I'm not good at this, I've never done that before, I'm never going to make money, I'm never going to be a success. On and on and on. And these words go into our tissue, go into our brain, and they really cloud the way we think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell me that most of the pains that we experience are emotionally caused, or rather, what I say, thought caused, or what do you say?
Listen, it's not that stuff's not real, right? When you have pain, it's real in my body. I feel pain. I have a headache. I have a backache. I have a neck ache. It's not that that's not real. It's that pain is trying to tell you something. It's a whisper. It's trying to say, hey, Anthony, you got to take care of yourself a little bit more. You've got to be nicer to yourself. Maybe you have to get up, stand up every hour, get away from the computer. Maybe you have to go out for a walk in nature. Maybe you have to take a nap. Maybe you have to eat better. Maybe you have to do some exercise to move your body at least 10 minutes every day. So it's not that these messages aren't real, because they are. They're real. They're coming to you. It's just the way we take it in. And when we start to change our thoughts, our body changes.
Mm.
We were not meant to live a terrible, grueling, horrible, challenging life,
Mm-hmm.
right? We were
Yeah.
meant to live a life full of ease and grace and joy, and even in the worst of times. And I would have to say that for the last 2.5 years, we've all been living in a really challenging time. There has to be in that bits of joy,
Sure. I agree.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
Right? I mean, I have 2 adult children who came home to live with us, and so everyone was home. It's like the kids were in high school again.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that, and the world stopped. I mean, so there was a lot of that going on. Now, it was very uncomfortable and scary and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying, even within the most challenging times, there is joy and there is an opportunity to live differently.
Mm. And it's good to hear that. And I'm
Yeah.
getting interesting stories once I get to interact with people. You're talking of experiencing pain and coming out in joy, because I've met so many people who have come from the pandemic with some great ideas, with some projects they've done. And you've got to be listening to the body and acting accordingly in order for you to adapt to the changes that are happening around you, I guess.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And that's what I mean by your body is always talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
You felt that way. You're like, "Oh, I don't feel today I don't feel very good." Oh, it's nothing. And so we discount those whispers. And the more we discount those whispers, they get louder and
Mm-hmm.
louder and louder and louder until we hit a brick wall and we have to listen. And people are like, oh, I didn't realize I mean, honestly, before the pandemic, most of us were moving into burnout in some way or another. And
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, when we stopped, we weren't driving. We got to sit back and it was quiet. We learned a lot of lessons. So I think it's that. It is just be listen to the whispers before they become screams in your body. And that's really why I do that. I have exercises in my book. There are chapters that go to videos that are simple, easy to do. I try to get people to move every day. Small steps every day make a huge difference in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really about doing those steps, not just sitting and complaining about how terrible everything is, how I don't feel good, my back pain. If you've ever been in pain, we kind of get stuck in that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it goes like this. I have back pain. Anthony, did I tell you about my back pain? Oh, I can't do that because I have back pain. I
Mm-hmm.
want to go. I can't go. And then we go into the story, and the back pain, the pain becomes the story of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not who we are. It's a part of who we are, and we can move into shifting that only when you're ready to. Only when you're ready to let go of that story.
Mm. Our stories make our life.
Our stories make our life. Exactly.
Mm. And I like the fact that you mentioned that small steps make a big difference. I mean, it's every day, single step that I take that is going to determine where I'm going to end up tomorrow.
Exactly. It's going to end up it's going to show you where you end up tomorrow. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to show you where you end up in the next decade, in the next 2 decades plus.
Mm.
So, I work with people mostly 50s plus, and it is truly your 50s are your 60s, and you can take over your 70s, your 80s. So, where you are right now, the trajectory of that can change on a dime by moving your body, by
Mm.
eating better, by sleeping, by taking a step back and just sitting in silence. Again, not for 20 minutes
Mm.
even,
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes. Can you give yourself 10 minutes, 8 minutes of walking, 2 minutes of silence? It's pretty doable. It's
Mm.
not like, oh, I have to work out in the gym for 3 hours and it's really hard. No, no, no. It's much less than that. It's the small things you can do day in and day out that make a huge difference in your life.
Mm. Now, going a bit back, when was the book written? Because you talked about people listening during the pandemic. Was it then or before?
No, no, no. It came out in August last year.
Oh, so that was inside the pandemic.
I was deep in it. I
Ah.
was deep in it. And it
Mhm.
was really the gifts of It came about because I've been working with clients for so many years. I wrote a book before this book called Falling into Joy: 8 Simple Steps to Allow Your Body to Become Your Best Friend. So I wrote that 4 years ago. And again, stories from clients of mine and about how there's joy in your life, because joy is really important. If we are not reaching for that joy, and joy is small, it's really that noticing, having a sip of coffee or tea in the morning, how you feel, watching the sun come up. It's the small moments. So
Mm,
that led me into this last book. And let me just tell you quickly, I was in a group with 12 other women.
mhm,
We never met each other, obviously. We all met on Zoom and we were in this project. And so in 3 months, we put this book together. Everyone had a different book. We all became bestsellers on Amazon.
mhm.
We all published on the same day. So that was kind of a fun event to be a part of.
That's interesting. And
Yeah,
it passes a message to someone out there, because this is what we are always saying, that those that you associate together are going to shape whom you become. And so, if you associate yourself with people who are always complaining, who have a bug, and they are talking about on a daily basis, then that is what the focus is going to be on. And whatever you focus magnifies.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, by joining yourself with other people to sit down and write books, that gave you energy. And that's why you achieved what you achieved.
Exactly. It gave me energy and it gave all of us, because as you know, because you talk to authors all the time, you come to a place where you're like, you're going along, it's great. And then you're like, I don't know what to, I don't know. And then you look back at your book and you think it's stupid. You hate it. You hate everything you've written. But what was so great about this group is you had other people cheering you on, and nobody was left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were ahead of other people. It didn't matter, because everybody was like, come on, come on, come on. We're all crossing this finish line. And it's exactly what you said. Your life is a combination of the 5 or 6 people you hang out with the most.
Mm-hmm.
Are they positive? Are they leading you in a higher path? Are they helping you, or are you complaining all the time? Are you talking about other people behind their backs? Are you, and not that we don't all get into that from time to time, but it's like, what is the majority of your time spent? How is that time spent? And that's super key to who you are as a person, and how you're going to show up in the world.
Yeah, I'm loving this. And now I remember the reason that I asked you to clearly and specifically define what kind of pain you're talking about is because those associations cause other pains in life, which are emotional.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah. So, and I see your book focusing more on building the whole person other than just the physical person. You've got a lot of positive quotes. You've got a lot of great advices on associating, and I love that.
Yeah, you can't listen.
Mm.
That's why it's called body, mind, and spirit. You've heard that. You cannot take one out with the other. Emotional pain becomes physical pain. Physical pain becomes emotional pain. They work hand in hand. And listen, the brain is wired for the negative bias. That's how we are wired. So
Hmm.
you had the best day. You had a fantastic day. You woke up, the birds were chirping, you went off to work. It was a great day. Everyone said hello. Um, Maybe you overheard someone saying a comment about you, not the nicest, a negative comment. The rest of your day was fantastic. Family was great. You saw friends. Everything was great. At the end of the day, you're focused not on all the greatness that happened in your day. You're focused on what happened with that one person. First of all, who you don't even care about, who you
Yeah.
don't maybe even know, who doesn't really know you, who maybe said something, and it doesn't even matter, but that's your focus, and that's what you're ruminating on the day about. And
Hmm.
it was a fantastic day. So we cannot help it. It is in our DNA. It's what kept us alive as humans, is that negative, always looking for danger. But we are still there. We are always looking for danger. And so we tend to focus. So my thing is, you have to really amp up those positive feelings. Wake up in the morning, instead of looking at your phone, And that's hard to do, right? Take a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, go and sit in silence.
Mm-hmm.
Get a journal and write down the 5 things that bring you joy in this moment. I'm petting my cat. The sun's coming up, or there's rain, or there doesn't matter what it is. Start to focus on what's good in your life and then write down what's good in your life. And you're going to do a self-talk to yourself. And it's going to be, this is a fantastic day. I am so lucky to be alive. This is a gift. I'm ready to be
Yeah.
ready for a fantastic day. And you're really trying to override the negative because it is way too easy to go down that slippery slope.
Mm, good. Talking about positive things and about you mentioned a gift, and
Mhm.
you also say that pain is a gift. Please tell us a bit more on that.
Yeah. So pain is a gift because that is the only way we listen.
Mm-hmm.
The only way we listen to our body is by listening to what's happening. And that's the only way the body can talk to us is through those little messages of pain. And so it's not saying you're good or bad. It's not that. It's just saying, hey, you're a little bit off your path. Let's correct it by waking up a little earlier to exercise, by not sitting all day long in front of the computer, by drinking more water, by eating better, by having fun, meeting friends, having connection, taking a little bit better care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
care of the space around you, care of yourself emotionally. And so that's the gift. The gift is it can change your life. I talked to many, many people, and they were after they had been through something pretty serious. And I always ask them, was there anything that, were there any little signs? And everybody pretty much across the board said, yes, there was. And I ignored it. I
Mm-hmm.
ignored my neck pain. I ignored my headaches. I ignored this. I ignored that. And sometimes the body's talking to you can be very, very serious. And we have to, instead of going, I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'm not, oh no, I don't believe in that. I don't want to do that. Sometimes your body's trying to push you to a path that's going to save your life. And so I mean that pretty seriously because we discredit our inner knowing so much of the time. And the truth is, if we could get quiet, just take a deep breath, you know much more. You know the most about yourself more than any other person. Someone can say, I think you should do this. But the truth is, they don't know. Only you know. And
Yeah.
only you can answer these questions. So it's such a personal thing. And you can see people just light up and change the minute they start listening to what the body wants, who they are. Our infinite intelligence is pretty staggering,
Mm-hmm.
pretty unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not out there.
It's.
It's in here.
I like that. I love that. And what would you say that the effect pain has on the success in whatever area that person is working on, the success of a project or
Oh,
any.
I think joy leads you into much more success than pain does. I think pain diminishes who you are, diminishes how you feel because it's an overwhelming, and especially people in chronic pain are beaten down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, they've had it for so long. They've gone to doctor after doctor after doctor. Nobody can figure out what's wrong with them. And so it's really debilitating, really debilitating. And
Mm-hmm.
so to start to move into with my clients, I try to move them into, can we get you into 1 minute, just 1 minute without pain? That's a successful day.
Mm.
That's a successful day. So sitting back and just breathing and just realizing how magnificent you are. It's that simple. Um, Let me give you an example. So I
Mm.
teach this exercise called focused breathing.
Okay.
Super simple. Okay. So I make everyone sit back in their seat. Okay. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes. So I'm going to have you close your eyes, Anthony. I'm going to make you my, okay. And you're going to inhale for 2 counts, Hold your breath for 2 counts, and then slowly blow out the air for 2 counts as if you're blowing out through a straw. Good. And again, inhale for 2 counts, hold for 2 counts, and slowly exhale. Good. And again, inhale in, hold, 2, and exhale. We're going to do one more time and inhale in, hold, 2, and slowly exhale. And then just open your eyes.
Hmm. I feel lighter.
You feel lighter. You feel it's not like the world is still here. All your
Mhm.
problems are still here. Everything's always waiting for you, but it lets you to get into a moment of peace.
Mhm.
And so if you can get into a moment of peace, when we're in that state, we can see things much clearer. I mean,
Mm.
don't you know when you're feeling in a fantastic mood, a problem comes up and you're like, okay. When you're feeling in a terrible mood and a problem comes up, it just spins and makes you crazier.
Yeah. And would you say, in this aspect, that joy overrides pain?
Absolutely. Every time. Joy
Oh,
is our natural state. Joy, peace, and ease are our natural state. We, overthinking, push us into so much more craziness. I can't tell you. I mean,
mm,
most of our problems are us. Not that the world collectively doesn't have stuff, but most of the stuff that we go through is from us making, worrying, what if? Oh my God, have you catastrophizing everything? And it's, pandemic is a perfect example. You could have gotten mad and screamed and yelled, and that wasn't going to change anything. So
mhm.
we had to really sit back and go, okay.
And I think I can support that because I'm going to give this example, and anybody who's listening or watching can identify with this. I am afraid of heights.
Mhm.
Although I usually say that people are not afraid of heights, they are afraid on the ground. You can go as high as you want, as long as you don't fear hitting the ground. But we fear
Right.
the ground. So this is what happens. So when you are at a high place and you look down and you imagine what is going to happen once you hit there, your muscles start paining. Have you ever
Mhm.
experienced that?
I have in different situations, but yes, that you
Yeah,
contract.
and yeah, you contract and you feel your muscles paining, and so
Yeah,
it is go it and there's nothing actually physically that happened to you. All that happened to you is your imagination, your mind, your thinking that
right,
produces some physical reaction in your muscles.
right.
So you
That's
can get pain from the way that you're thinking, and if you choose joy, then you're going to diminish pain. I agree with you.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And our thinking about things and worrying about, am I going to get sick? Am I going to get sick? Am I going to get sick? Starts to move you down that road to attracting more illness. As
One.
opposed to say, I feel healthy and strong, I feel at peace with the world and my life as it is, leads you into a more easy place. Not that you don't get sick, and I'm not saying anything like that. Life
Mhm.
happens, stuff happens, very serious things happen to people, and
Mhm.
that's no joke. But you do have a choice in how you interpret what happens to you in your life.
Once again, whatever you focus on magnifies.
Exactly,
You,
exactly,
you,
exactly,
you focus on the pain, it's gonna magnify.
exactly,
Whether whether
exactly.
it, whether it be emotional pain or whether it be physical pain, whatever you focus on is going to
That's exactly right.
blow
Yeah.
up. This is why you gotta get that book by Conni Ponturo, known as "Listen, Watch What You Say." Your body is listening. Yeah,
Yes.
there it
There we
is.
go.
Yeah, yes, and we are very happy that you're sharing this with us, and we are wishing much success on your book. We are just about to go off the show, but before we go, we would like to know, where do we get the book from?
Well, you can get it on Amazon, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I also have a website called yourbodyislistening.com, which
Mm-hmm.
is about the book. And so you can join me there. And I have a little book club so that I come into your book club again all over the world, doesn't matter where. Get 6 or more friends together, buy the book. I send you pre-assessment questions, and then I come in when your book club gets together, or if you don't have a book club, just get a group of friends together, and then I come in and I do talk about tips and tricks, answer any questions, and just do a movement meditation kind of thing. And so that's all on yourbodyislistening.com, and from there you can buy the book.
Wonderful. And most of these happens online, so you don't have an excuse.
Exactly. Everything happens and that's really why I did it, because everything happened online. People were sitting in front of computers. So a lot of what I teach is, what do you do when you're on a computer all day long? What can you do? And so I have a membership site called
Mm-hmm.
absolutelygrounded.com. It's online workouts and things and suggestions. There's a lot of free content there. And then also I'm on YouTube, on Absolutely Grounded on YouTube, and I have over 300 videos, 5 and 6 minutes, things that you can do every day that are going to make you feel better in your body.
Wonderful. We're going to tag those links on the web, on the video that are ones we are going to upload, and the audio, so people can get to click and head to their places.
Great.
And at this point, we are almost done. But before we go, I always ask my guests to leave us with something that we will always remember. And this is your time.
Okay. So joy is the juice of life, freshly squeezed. How are you going to drink it in?
Wonderful. Joy being the juice of life. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. And once again, to the viewers, thank you. And to Connie, thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Anthony. Such a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure too. And bye for now.
Bye.
Hey, everyone, remember to share this with your friends. Yeah, bye.